Sri Prabhupada Jivanamritam ki jai. Positive and progressive immortality ki jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Okay. One number 14 of chapter 5. Life Nectar of the Surrendered Souls. Confidence in the Lord's protection. Rakshishya T. Visvasa. Is that right? Yes. Vishvasaha. Okay. Rakshishya T. Visvasaha. Confidence in the Lord's protection. Okay. Srila Guru Maharaj gives us the introductory summary. He is proven to be the only shelter, since there is actually no shelter but him. It's perfect statement by Srila Guru Maharaj. The only shelter, because really there's nothing else but him. So we have, ultimately that's our position. And in relation to our false ego, that's a really tough pill to swallow, because we have, we have nothing except Krishna, and Krishna can do as he likes. He can treat us nicely or not treat us nicely. He can, do anything. So for the ego to deal with that, it's a difficult one, and so we have to come to the conclusion that we need to change ourselves and destroy the ego, and be ready to face that struggle. That however I'm perceiving things now is not correct. I may have some partial perception of what Krishna consciousness is, but because of the contamination of the ego, there's we can't really see things as they are. So to see like this, that Krishna is the only shelter and there's nothing else but Krishna, is perfection. It's the highest stage, and it's the happiest stage, because at that point, when we've given up everything, any shelter outside of Krishna, there's nothing for us. When we take shelter of Krishna, there's everything. Everything comes from taking shelter of Krishna. It's just, like Guru Maharaj told us, it looks like, all sacrifice, no gain. But later it will look like all gain, no sacrifice. It's just a matter of, of our own degree of necessity and determination. And that's moved by our increasing perception in the Lord and His representatives. The more we see them, the more we move into the shelter of the Lord automatically. Okay, so this is citation from the Skanda Purana. For those who have stumbled and fallen upon the ground, that very ground is the only support by which they can arise once again. Likewise, for those who have offended you, O Lord, you alone are their only refuge. So that's the connection that the Skanda Purana gives, is that we've fallen and have made offense to the lotus feet of the Lord, and the only way to rectify that offense is by endeavoring to surrender to Him. And by inference we can understand that that this also talks to us about what the process of devotional service is and the process of devotional development. We have to utilize those things around us that are perceivable and understandable to us in terms of who we are, who we perceive ourselves to be now. and not necessarily the absolute soul, but to place things into that position. So therefore we have, deity worship, sadhana, initiations, so many different things and most importantly, the descent of Sri Guru, who manifests before us in a perceivable way. He comes and shows himself, comes into the world of pain, and gives us a glimpse of what the reality is. So and he gives us a chance to raise ourselves. So by the mercy of the Guru, conditioned souls like us who are contaminated with attachment to the external world, we can utilize those things that we perceive as reality falsely right now. We can transform them, we utilize them in the service of Krishna. So we walk and talk and do activities that are kind of distilled in the form of the arti and the chanting of the holy name in the temple. Those things are the direct, what's the word? Like manifestation of what we need to do. Offer the flower, offer the leaf, offer the cloth, offer the water, offer the fire, offer the fans. Those things are there for us to directly use and render service. So similarly, the things around us are there for us to serve. The structure is here. It's not just an external structure. It's a lot more than that. It's like the manifest opportunity to render service. So the building itself and the people contained within the building and the energy of the building has to do with our being engaged in devotional life. Because we're here in this world. We have to stay in a certain place. We have to sleep, eat, do so many things that on one level can be totally entangling, but on this level in devotional life, if we stick to it and try to apply it to ourselves, that I need to be corrected. So let this prasadam enter in such a way so that I taste reality and leave the other distractions, leave them away, move away from them, and live with the devotees and relate with the devotees as friends and dearmost associates, persons who are with us in the transcendental struggle. It's like it's a chintya bheda bheda. It's simultaneously a struggle and it's simultaneously a fulfilling, happy activity. It's both. Because it touches our soul and we become happy, and it slams at our ego, and it becomes a struggle because the ego doesn't like to do what this shloka says. Understand we've offended the Lord, understand we need to take shelter of Him. And we do it as we've fallen on the ground, as we've fallen into this world. We do it by utilizing things around us, no longer for ourselves, but for the service of the Supreme. And we have to try to develop this and learn this lesson in our lives. And like Srila Sridhar Maharaj has given the example, walk through the mud towards the shoreline. We're treading through mud, and it's we've put ourselves into that condition, and we've contaminated ourselves, and we've jumped in thinking this is going to be so nice, but it's not. And now that we've by the grace of Sri Guru, we've begun to like wake up a little bit, we realize, whoa, we're in the mud, we have to get out of here. So we have to, walk through, but we're lucky we get to walk through, sludge through with friends who are, also trying in the same direction. We can help to like hold each other up as we go on in our simultaneous struggle and, happy journey. Okay, so Skanda Purana tells us if you've fallen on the ground, you have to use that ground. It's similarly, if you've offended the Lord, you can only correct that by, taking full shelter of Him. There's actually no shelter but Him. We take shelter of Him because He's the shelter, and we realize gradually that we have nothing else. There's nothing else to take shelter of. And, that's at that point of understanding, we have to push and, focus ourselves in such a way so that we, understand what's going on a little bit and, direct ourselves in such a way so that we're going in the right direction. We're trying to chip away at our contaminated self. Okay, so the next one we'll do one more. It's number 15. Confidence in the Lord's protection, Life Nectar of the Surrendered Souls, chapter 5. Number 15, it's by Rupa Goswami. And Srila Guru Maharaj gives the introduction, the only shelter for the shelterless. I mean, Nirashrayanam evakasrayaha. Just two Sanskrit words, but combination type words. Nirashrayanam evakasrayaha. I don't know how it's combined, but the only shelter for the shelterless. One is indicating there's no shelter, and the other one's indicating it's the shelter. It's the only shelter. So, we've talked before, we like automatically struggle in this world and build so many shelters in our minds, particularly. That's a difficult area, but we also build shelters, externally in different ways. And we have to, realize that, and the mercy of the process given by our gurus is like indicated here, that we get to, struggle together with other Vaishnavas and to, help each other in the struggle as friends, and that type of friendship, as it grows, it enhances our devotional life. And we learn through association with the Vaishnavas what reality is. And of course, it has to do also with our own inner, understanding of the necessity of seeing it like this, like Srila Sridhar Maharaj says, the only shelter for the shelterless. And this comes from Srila Rupa Goswami, who says, I am drowning in some remote region of a fathomless, treacherous ocean. So there's the analogy that we could use so often. We're just there in the middle of an ocean, and there's waves and so many things, and there's no possibility of swimming out of it. It's just like no possibility. We have to somehow or other keep our heads above water and, come in contact with the rescue boat. And that person who's extending his hand or a rope or, whatever the metaphor is, he's reaching to us caught in the ocean. And Srila Rupa Goswami gives us that metaphor. The vast sea of frustration, swept by the tide of hallucination. made poetry, as the Sanskrit is poetry. O friend of the shelterless, O benediction moon, please just once now lend me your helping hand. So there's, he directly gives that analogy. We're there in the middle of a treacherous ocean, treading water, not knowing clearly what to do, and just waiting for the merciful hand to come to us. And by the grace of Sri Guru, we feel the hand reaching out to us, and we try to extend ourselves to take that hand. And that's our quest right now, is to really genuinely take the hand. Otherwise, we're deluded. We think that we've been in the ocean so long, we think it's the only existence, and we're hesitant. We're afraid to go to another realm. Because the fear. Where does the fear come from? Bhaya. It comes from not knowing our eternal transcendental position. Feeling like the self is separated from the source. No longer in connection with the shelter. So naturally, we're afraid. That's just the effect of the material world. We have to be fearful because we're not in the right shelter. So even we get into a nice house, surrounded by a nice family, surrounded by all of material facility, it's still not enough. We're still afraid somebody's going to break in, take our family, burn our house down, something like that. And we see, according to the law of karma, these things happen. People are shattered, and it happens regularly, because the very people who are the shelter for these people who are shelterless in this world, trying to find shelter in temporary ways. What happens is they become attached to the grandfather, the father, the mother, and ultimately they leave. Poof, they're gone. And it's, it means sadness. And that without an answer to why they've left, why they've departed, what do you have? You have fear. What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to my dad? What's going to happen to my mom? But we have the information that we can give to, our kids and the kids, all the kids that are stuck in this world. Kids in terms of, spiritual development. Generally, that's like the case. We have something substantial. We're becoming a little mature in our development, and we can give things to the the younger people. Okay, the Sanskrit. You don't have your things, do you? She's got these glasses with holes. There's black. It looks like sunglasses, and you see through the holes, and it makes the print bigger. I don't know how it works, but it works. Well, it just somehow makes the eye focus more when it goes through the little dots. So I guess we'll wait for her. Thank you, Didi. All right. You have to get used to it. Where are we here? Okay. Vivrita vivita badhe banti vegad agadhe balavanti bhavapure majato me vintare asharana gana bandhu ha kripa kamudino dindo. Sakrid akrita vilasaham deha hasta vedambam Sri Rupa. It's even smaller. Sri Rupa Pada Padmam. So Rupa Goswami gives us this Sanskrit, which I didn't say very nicely, but anyway, it's very poetic and it's very complex Sanskrit. I can see that. There's many, dual words and combinations of particular words to bring out a particular vision. Like he's giving a metaphor through the Sanskrit language, and the Sanskrit language has the unique kind of connection and capacity to be utilized by the great souls to paint a picture for us. Even though we don't understand the Sanskrit, we can perceive it to a little bit less extent, but we can perceive it through the translation and through our language. We can not only hear the combination of the words and kind of picture it mentally, but we can feel what it is. We can begin to bring this perception into our consciousness. Rupa Goswami has given these books and books and books for us to begin to absorb things. And it's all like there's books designed for the elementary grades like us, and the middle grades and the upper grades and the university grades and the postgraduate grades. There's all kinds of books, and the logic of saying if you're in fourth or fifth year, to say that, oh, well, he's made postgraduate engineering books, so we get to study that. Why would he have made them if it's not for us? If you see it in that perspective, it's just like, what are they doing? Rupa Goswami Pada has given us, information all along the way, and who determines what level of year or grade the student is in? It's determined by the teachers and the administrators and the parents. They know how to enable the child to progress. So in a similar way, we're placed in a position by Sri Guru, and by the grace of Sri Guru, we're able to progress rightly, and we get books that fit our level of perception, that will benefit us and enable us to increase our knowledge. It's all within the transcendental educational structure. You have educational structures in this world because there's a real thing that's there for us to, because in this world you have to learn. And you can see it in every society. There's the government, or together the local people have made a structure for education. It's absolutely necessary to function in this world. We have to understand, the original purpose of education was to develop virtue and develop goodness and perception of the unity of individuals, and through the understanding that we're all coming from the same source. Societies, we have some record of that in the West, in the early Greek societies, and what to speak of in the early, the Varnashram system in India. Everything was pointing towards that. Education was for that, but gradually, the society itself has become misdirected, and now, really, from even within my lifetime, they've begun to like give up philosophy and literature and the arts for just functional stuff. Like, why do you go to university? Well, to learn a profession. That's all. So why do you have all this philosophy and stuff and religion? And what's the use of that? But previously, and within the minds and consciousness of people who know and see the value of real education, it's the situation now is unfortunate because they're not seeing what the purpose of education is in the human form of life. It's meant to to develop our understanding of who we are and what this world is and where we're going. Ultimately what that destination is. And that's directly what Krishna consciousness gives, what Srila Rupa Goswami has just given us in this shloka. Painting the picture for where we're at. We're stuck in the middle of the ocean. What do? We have to get the hand of that guru and try to fully take shelter of it. Okay, Shri Prabhupada Jivanamritam Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Rakhak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Okay. Chaitanya-charitamrta Ki Jai, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Rakhak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya-charitamrta Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Okay, we're going through Chaitanya-charitamrta as we're required by the instruction of our guru. Read from front to back, parayana, it's called in Sanskrit, and absorb the transcendental knowledge that comes to us in that particular context, without like reading this description or elucidation by Rupa Goswami about the nature of Krishna, the nature of the reality of love, and how Mahaprabhu himself is that same Krishna. Without that foundation, when you start talking about what is the highest destination, what is the highest goal of existence, you have to have that foundation. Otherwise, you just kind of fly off in mental images of what that is. We can't see what it is without the foundation. And that educational example is perfect. You can't understand postgraduate studies unless you've gone through all the levels of development, the lower levels. You won't have the capacity. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Giridhar Ju Ki Jai. Okay, so we're lucky we have Kaviraj Goswami giving us this. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Okay. Okay, so we have now Kaviraj Goswami is giving us citations from the gopis about their feelings of love and separation in relation to Krishna, and descriptions given in Srimad Bhagavatam of that, the feeling of love and affection, seeing Krishna's curling hair, and different aspects of his beauty, and then the feeling of separation manifests at Kurukshetra, And the vision of Krishna being that the vision of those who are most fortunate, the highest fortune is to actually really see Krishna, and we get that chance in the deity. The deity is another aspect that descends to us and reaches out to us. Okay, so this is there's the text number 155. The gopis say, "O friends, those eyes that see the beautiful faces of the son of Maharaj Nanda are certainly fortunate. As these two sons enter the forest, surrounded by their friends, driving the cows before them, they hold their flutes to their mouths and glance lovingly upon the residents of Vrindavan. For those who have eyes, we think there is no greater object of vision." And Srila Prabhupada says, like the gopis, one can see Krishna continuously if one is fortunate enough. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that sages whose eyes have been smeared with the ointment of pure love can see the form of Shyam-sundar, Krishna, continuously in the centers of their hearts. This text from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 21st chapter, 7th shloka, was sung by the gopis on the advent of the Sharat season. Sharat season is the rainy season. Is that right? Do you know, Didi? As a Govardhan resident, I think it's the rainy season, which is the whole mood of the rainy season with the clouds and the downpours and all these things have connection with rasa, and these are described also by Rupa Goswami in his later books. The science of rasa, how everything manifests according to love for Krishna, and whatever we see in this world is just a reflection of that. So that's why there's inherent beauty in the functions of nature. Otherwise, we wonder, nature's entangling us, and yet there's beauty there. It's not just hellish. There's some perception of beauty, but that's we become attached to the temporary perception without remembering and seeing that there's a deeper reality behind that manifestation. And we have to work on it. We have to gradually work on it and come to see the reality of Krishna's presence everywhere. That He's the real, controller of this world, not us. Everything is meant for Him, and not for me, as we currently perceive it. Okay. Akshan vatam palam idam na param vidamaha sakya pashum anuveshatayar vasyasyayi vaktram vajesa sutayor anuvenu justam yarva nipitam anurakta kataksha moksham. Anurakta, loving. I thought so. Nipidam, imbibed. Kata aksha, the glances. So these boys, Krishna and Balaram, are going out to the fields with the cows in front of them, with the other cowherd boys. Krishna and Balaram are playing flutes and looking at all the residents with love. And the residents are looking at them thinking, oh, these boys are so beautiful. Why are they so beautiful? I don't understand, but it's so wonderful just to see them going out. And, this is like, wow, this is reality. We can, just by hearing it as given by Kaviraj Goswami, quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam, coming from the gopis themselves. We hear these things. We can feel that there's reality there. Just by hearing, Kaviraj Goswami has such potency that wham, it can pierce through our normal everyday perceptions. We go on in life, and even in devotional life, we go on. We kind of survive by perceiving the world according to our nature, and we stabilize ourselves within that world and within that nature, and from that we progress in our devotional life. Things go on simultaneous like that because the ultimate goal is to change. So we're stabilizing ourselves, but at the same time stabilizing ourselves so we can change in the right way. Not change in the way that's based on accumulative sense gratification or renunciation, but based on the inner feeling of devotion. And like we were saying a couple of days ago, that kind of feeling is developed in our association with the Vaishnavas. We have that. These people are around us. Some way more advanced from previous lives. Some, compared to us beginners. We're all in different situations, and we can a little bit perceive. Gurudev told us, I can see, but you can't see. Everyone's degree of dedication. So the best thing is to take the vision given by Mahaprabhu, with humility, to see others in a superior position. That these devotees are engaged in devotional life. My position is unknown, but we know that it's low. And we have these people around us who are engaged in devotional life, and we should feel these people are, special people somehow or other. Not like I'm a very developed devotee and I'm going to give something to somebody. It doesn't work like that. It works like our own feelings increase where we gradually realize that we're nothing. It's not that we develop and realize we're something, but we gradually develop to the realization that, wow, I'm nothing. And that's the devotional position. And everybody, we read in the songs of the great souls, in the shlokas that we read, how Kaviraj Goswami himself is insisting that he's so low. The Vaishnavas just feel like that, and see other Vaishnavas as holy and worshipable, and with a feeling of fortune to be with them. So we're lucky people, because what the Gita says: 1 in a million of those, 1 in those millions, and of those, 1 of those millions. There's not so many people who are serious enough to do this, and we can contact some people and bring them, into our caravan. But there really is not so many who are going to be ready for this. Some may be ready for a more simple understanding, a more simple presentation. But the presentation of Srila Guru Maharaj is very, very fine and based on Sumedha, spiritual intelligence that perceives, coming from him, he perceives what is what, and he reaches out to us in that way. Every great soul is unique and different and wonderful, and Guru Maharaj is like we were talking about on his disappearance day, is just, his hand as it extends, a super hand, with great capacity for reaching to the drowning souls, and to give them a clear understanding of why they have to hold on to that hand. This is Guru Maharaj. And the understanding is so developed and based on, it's like grade, what he's giving us is grade 6, 7, or 8 or something. And that necessarily you should have been through grades 1 through 6, one way or other. And so, our presentation is something like that. We have Guru Maharaj, who's giving beautiful understandings about Krishna consciousness, and we have to learn to kind of package them and present them in such a way so that each individual we meet gets some sense of what's there, so that we can begin to plant the seed of inquiry into their hearts. So everybody's different. We have to look at everyone in a different way and preach to everyone in a little bit different way, based on their own consciousness. So we have to see like that, not just preach the same thing to everybody, but preach according to the person that you're with, according to their necessity. Okay, so the next sloka, 156, the women of Mathura say, "What austerities must the gopis have performed? With their eyes they always drink the nectar of the face of Lord Krishna, which is the essence of loveliness and is not to be equaled or surpassed. That loveliness is the only abode of beauty, fame, and knowledge. It is self-perfect, ever fresh, and extremely rare." This text from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 44th chapter, 14th verse, was spoken by the women of Mathura when they saw Krishna and Balaram in the arena with King Kangsa's great wrestlers, Mustika and Chanura. So we all know the story of Mustika and Chanura. When Krishna enters the arena, everybody's different. So everybody sees Krishna in a different way. Some of the ladies who are developed in loving connection with Krishna see him as the Lord of the rasa dance, and others see him like these ladies here. They're seeing him in terms of his the possessor of all great capacities, all great manifestations of attractiveness. It all comes back to Krishna. So these ladies are seeing like that. There's nothing beyond this beauty that's right before our eyes now. Self-perfect, ever fresh, extremely rare. So they know this is not ordinary. That we can see Krishna and Balaram coming into the arena to fight these big, gigantic wrestlers. 2 little boys. What are they going to do? And some people in the audience are thinking like that, and other people are thinking, what is Mustika and Chanura going to do against these 2 amazing personalities? They can do anything they want. So the women of Mathura are seeing in that way, thinking in terms of the gopis who are always with Krishna, always Krishna is always within their vision. And we know even in separation they see and feel Krishna, but it's a vision of absence, which stimulates the desire in the heart to come closer. And this is like, the real thing. Okay, one more. 157, chapter 4, Adi-lila. The sweetness of Lord Krishna is unprecedented, and its strength is also unprecedented. Simply by hearing of such beauty, the mind becomes unsteady. This is Kaviraj Goswami giving a summary of what it is to see the beauty of Krishna. We're taught wealth, strength, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation. These are the qualities, the central qualities that Krishna possesses. So, transcendental renunciation. He can dance in the rasa dance, manifesting himself as an individual to each gopi, so that each gopi thinks he alone is with them. And then he can just say, I'm going to go somewhere else, and just go somewhere else. That's the kind of renunciation that Krishna has. And that kind of manifest renunciation in this world is where we perceive the temporary energy there, but we think, no, I'm going to go in the higher direction. I'm going to go in the direction of devotional life and devotional development and devotional relationships. I'm going to go there. I'm not just going to get mixed up in some temporary thing or get just get caught in the trap of thinking renunciation is everything. Really, everything is seeing Krishna in everywhere, and the love of Krishna manifesting in the form of the Vaishnavas that are around us. We get that chance to perceive those things in our sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha is a deep, heavy thing, and it's really absolutely necessary, as we read in so many places. Oh, I don't even know if I did the Sanskrit for the last verse. Did I do the Sanskrit? No. Okay. So text 156. Again, this is the women of Mathura saying about the position of the gopis and the beauty of Krishna. Gopyas tapa kim acharanyad amusya rupaha lavanya saram asmodvam ananya siddham drigbi pibantyanu swabini avam durupam ekanta dharma yasaha shriya aisvarasya of opulence. So this loveliness is the abode of that kind of shriya, beauty, yashasaha, fame, and it's the ekanta dharma. It's the only shelter, the only place of beauty, opulence, and fame. And this is durapam. It's difficult to obtain this kind of anusava abhinavam, this constantly new perception of pibanti, the drinking. Paba pibanti is drinking. It's drinking with the eyes. Drigvi is the eyes. Okay. Ananya siddhim. So there's nothing else but this siddhim, this beautiful manifestation of existence, the beauty and reality of existence manifest in the form of Krishna. Okay, unparalleled. Asama urdvam. And let's see, lavanya saram, the essence of loveliness. Sara, everything. Lavanya, loveliness, beauty. That's Krishna's form. His rupam. So the gopis, what kind of tapa have the gopis performed? The women of Mathura are thinking. Okay. The next verse again is, the sweetness of Lord Krishna is unprecedented, and its strength is also unprecedented. Simply by hearing of such beauty, the mind becomes unsteady. Apurva madhuri krishnera apurva tarabhala yahara sravane manahoya talamala. Talamala, unsteady. What is it? Jalamala, talamala? The position of the drop of water on the leaf is talamala, unsteady. That's in the song of, is it Bhaja Hure Mana? I think so. Okay. So you see such beauty, you see the absolute, and you think, oh, everything will be peaceful and wonderful, but no. You see the absolute, and your mind is like agitated, and you can't be happy, without coming in contact with that absolute. So this is like kind of almost the opposite of what we perceive, or what ordinary people, or we ordinarily in mundane consciousness think about, is that we'll come to some stage where everything will be wonderful, like strawberry fields forever, dancing and being with other people and having sense gratification and all that. And but it's not like that. The reality is we become empty and desperate, and feeling in that way. But because we feel like that, our whole existence becomes absorbed in the stream of Krishna's transcendence. So it's ecstatic, even though it's the pain of feeling of separation. And in relation to our gurus, we get to begin to glimpse that. By their grace, they appear and they disappear, and we learn about separation in that way, and try to it's like Srila Guru Maharaj said, when the guru disappears, it's like an explosion. You should be like disturbed. You should be like messed up a bit by this, because our dependency on that manifestation is so real and so perfect and so beautiful that naturally we want it to continue. But the reality of the perception of our master is completely internal, on a spiritual level of dedication, devotion, and sacrifice. And we can retain that that presence through that. And it's not an easy thing. It's a challenge for us devotees to make that make that adjustment to in kind of the pain of separation, taking on our service as as best we can. And in that way, the guru sees us, and we feel something of his presence, and that's really the only thing that enables us to go on. Particularly it's in Srila Govinda Maharaj, we found such a kind and open, feeling personality that he would hug us. He's so close. He came. He like really descended to really connect with the heart directly. Whereas both Srila Prabhupada and Srila Sridhar Maharaj, made connection, but they did it in a different way. More, the connection was, I have to say, like more internalized. You could only connect with them kind of internally. When you could see Srila Prabhupada and feel him coming and feel his presence and so many things like that, it was wonderful. But really, he kept himself in such a way that he was more or less isolated, and only a few people had direct association with him. So you had to, go internal. But with Srila Govinda Maharaj, I guess it was like that to some extent, because there were many disciples. But some he allowed just to walk in, sit down, and watch a movie with him and imagine what it might be that he's seeing, and just I did that once, and just watched like 2-hour movie of some Bengali movie that has all kinds of rasa metaphors in the weather and loving exchanges going on that are indicative of higher relations, as Gurudev could see. But he lets you just be there and be in the presence. And I just felt like, wow, something is happening here. It was just really powerful. And after the movie, I looked at Srila Gurudev and I was thinking, wow, this is amazing. He's like seeing in a transcendental way. And I look at him and his eyes get really big and he says, yes. He like read my mind and was right there with me. Even though he was so transcendental and so really far away, but he was really close also. Great, the great Vaishnavas can do this, and Srila Govinda Maharaj particularly did this. And he was, our last Paramahansa, really high, beautiful connection, and so we feel some necessary separation from that, what we were able to perceive as a conduit of the perception of the beauty of Krishna, like we're reading about here. We could see that in our Guru. Okay. Unprecedented beauty. Apurva Madhuri Krishnera Apurva Tara Bala Yahara Shravane Mana Hoya Talamala. We read that, okay. Talamala, unsteady. The mind becomes unsteady. The mana Hoya, the mind becomes Talamala, unsteady. When does that happen? Shravane, when you hear of the bala, strength, apurva, unprecedented, Krishnera, of Krishna, his madhuri, his sweetness. So the sweetness of Lord Krishna is unprecedented, and its strength also unprecedented. Simply by hearing of such beauty, the mind becomes unsteady. Okay, whoa. So suddenly it's late. Okay, we'll just read one more. 158. Lord Krishna's own beauty attracts Lord Krishna himself. But because he cannot fully enjoy it, his mind remains full of sorrow. So Kaviraj Goswami is bringing us towards the manifestation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, based on this, the perception of the beauty and the feeling of love that's there in Krishna. How he himself is unable to perceive that beauty and the effect that it's having on Srimati Radharani. So what does it say? His mind is full of sorrow. So the Lord, who knows everything, who sees everything, who feels everything, who's in the heart of everybody, feels like this. It is a chintya that, but at the same time, it's so proper. so in line with, what that kind of personality might be like. If he has total control, what is he looking for? He's looking for something that extends beyond him. And that something comes through Srimati Radharani. So he's, by his own arrangement, something has exceeded him. And that thing of accession is Radharani's love, and that, that's the foundation of existence. And we get to begin to participate in that and eventually develop ourselves in such a way so that we can, join that in one way or other by making full connection with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as Kaviraj Goswami will lead us into. Krishnara madhurye Krishne upajaya lobha samyak asvadite nare mane rahe kshoba. Mane rahe kshoba. Kshoba, sorrow. So his mana, mane, rahe, remains. This is, the Bengali is also, it's really close to Hindi in this case. So asvadite, he's not able to some yuck, fully taste. Asvadite, taste samya fully. He can't taste that madhurya, sweetness of Krishna's, the vision of Krishna. Lord Krishna's own beauty attracts Lord Krishna himself, but because he cannot fully enjoy it, his mind remains full of sorrow. Okay, so we'll leave it there. The next sloka tells us about, this is Krishna's second desire, that he wants to see his beauty. And what was the first desire? Let's see. Anybody remember? Okay, I'll have to find it and we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Sweetness.
Oh, perceiving his sweetness?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, we'll try and find that sloka. Okay, Sri Chaitanya-charitamrta ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada